Everybody has a favorite teacher. Mine was Mrs. Fuqua, Mrs. Steve Fuqua. Yep, that was her name. I loved her, but I didn't love her all the time. She was my first grade teacher. She got me in trouble. She told my mama terrible, terrible stories about me. And see, Mama didn't know that Mrs. Fuqua was a compulsive liar. See, she believed this stuff. And so the worst story she ever told us, it was on Christmas Day. It was the party for our first grade class. We were getting ready to leave for the Christmas season. Mrs. Turner had brought in, she was the room mother, she brought in the wonderful little cookies, little Santa Claus cookies and little snowman cookies, one for each student. And they put them up at her desk, Mrs. Fuqua's desk, to get them out of the way. Do you know that Mrs. Fuqua told my mama that she had to separate me because I was disturbing the class with excessive silliness? Now, you and I both know that that's not true. So she put me up at her desk and said it wasn't long before she looked back. Now, this is a lie. She told my mama I had eaten every gumdrop button off of those cookies. But that is not what this story is about. This story is about Mrs. Fuqua when I was a junior in high school. When I was a junior in high school, the lit teacher, we had lit teachers then, was Miss Ruth Carpenter. We called her Ms. Ruth. She was the meanest, awfulest, best teacher I believe I ever had. And she made all juniors memorize and recite the poem, Crossing the Bar, by Alfred Lloyd Tennyson. I don't like poems. I don't like Tennyson. The day came, we worked so hard on that, the day came for us to recite Miss Ruth was sick. Oh. But Miss Fuqua showed up. She walked into class and said, boys and girls, we're going to recite. What's this we business? We are going to recite Crossing the Bar by Tennyson today. Who wants to go first? I said, I do. See, if you go first, you get it over with. If you go first, you can laugh at everybody else. So I knew, you don't look at anybody in their face, you look up. So I stood up. Crossing the Bar by Alfred Lloyd Tennyson. Sunset and evening star, one clear call for me. There'll be no moaning of the bar when I cross out to sea. And I finished the poem with that same wonderful grandeur. I mean, I nailed it. I just could not wait to hear what she had to say. So she stood up in front of the class. Mrs. Fuqua was about this tall, this way. About this tall, this way. And she put her little hands in front of her little self, and she said, boys and girls, I just love that poem. I think that's a beautiful poem, and I have always said that when I die, I want that poem read at my funeral. Now, children, if you're at my funeral, if you let Bobby Owen read that poem, I'll haunt you for the rest of your life.